Hey everybody, 𝗙𝗵𝗹𝗲𝗲 here, and in this video I'm going to tell you how to advertise teaching services. And I'm going to break it down into the offense and the defense and what you need to do. You know, you make a big investment of time, energy, and money into setting up your teaching business and growing it, and you want to get the most out of it. You want to get the best return on your investment. So today I'm going to give you the general ideas that most people probably touch on if they were to help you with this kind of coaching or this kind of advice. But then we're going to go into the specifics. We're going to zoom in on a couple of these things, and I'm going to tell you things that nobody else is sharing, and I think you'll be really surprised by what you can do. So let's start with attack. First of all, with attack, we have paid ads. And paid ads are at the top of my list because they are so effective. Once you understand how paid ads work, you can really stabilize your business, because you can say that the data shows me if I put in $1 and I get back $2, and this is reliable, that I have a working business. Why wouldn't I do that, right? If I had a machine like that, I would just keep putting dollars in and I would just keep getting back the profit. And that's basically what we've been able to do over the last 2 years, is grow our paid ads to the point where we were spending $1,000 a day, sometimes $5,000 a day, and it was profitable because we were getting double that back. So when you have paid ads, it helps you grow your brand, it helps you bring in more clients and customers, and you know, these numbers that I'm mentioning, they're not typical numbers, I think. I think that this is on the high end of what a lot of people do. But it allowed us to lock in 11,000 students in a very short period of time, in about a year. So, so this is really the most effective strategy that I know out there. And I'm calling it just one strategy. Really, within paid ads, there's lots of different things that we need to do, and it's a whole science in itself. And you know, I have a coaching program called Teaching Business Catalyst where I teach teachers how they can use that system. But for now, for this video, let's just leave it at that. Paid ads, you pay money, you get clients, and you can measure the data, and you can see how effective it is. And if it's profitable, you just keep doing it, right? And we'll break that down a little bit further later in this video. The next one is guest posts. Guest posts is basically where you are presenting yourself to somebody else's platform, somebody else's audience, and it might take a few different forms. The traditional form of guest posting is when you post a blog post or an article, or maybe even a short interview on somebody else's channel, their page, their website, something like that, right? So the people who already go there see you, and they might come over to your platform, or they might contact you and they might become your client. So this is traditional guest posting. But there are other ways that we can guest post. Like, we can pay to be in a popular platform or a popular group and make an appearance there and be allowed to advertise what we want to advertise there. So it's another kind of advertising, because typically when we talk about paid ads, we're talking about just paying Facebook, paying Google, paying LinkedIn, you know, paying these different companies that have many platforms, right? Facebook has Instagram and WhatsApp also. Google has YouTube also. So when we talk about paid ads, usually we're talking about those things, but we can just directly pay someone a smaller amount of money and get in front of their audience. And this can be a really effective way to do it. Now, I also have a very secret strategy about how you can get your posts onto somebody else's platform in front of somebody else's audience without their permission. And this is really an ethical question about, should you do this or not? Because you can basically go into somebody's group and take their audience, and you know, of course you should always ask their permission before you do this. This is the best decision. But some people do this without asking, and it's actually part of attack and defend, because you need to know that people could do this so that you can defend against it. And this is also related to guest posting, so we'll break that down a little bit later in this video. The next general idea about attack is that we need to have email marketing. After somebody comes to our website, they should be able to sign up. And when they give us their email, we should be sending them regular emails that have valuable content. And valuable content doesn't mean that we're just selling to them over and over again. It means that we're actually giving them something useful. Like, I hope that this video will be useful to you if you're still watching, And if I sent you this same information in the form of an email, I hope that that would be useful to you, and it would be a good explanation. Not that immediately on that email that I would try to sell something, right? It would be better if I just give you the valuable information that you need, and then you can make the decision later if you want more information from me or not, basically, right? So we have email marketing, and we can set email marketing up into sequences of emails. So you could say that the first day that somebody signs up, they get an email, and maybe they get an email every day after that first day. And then we could say that in the second month, we want them to get an email every other day. And in the third month, every 3 days or 4 days. We can have complete control over that. And it's actually really, really easy for us to do. And it also allows us to just write one amazing email and send it out thousands or millions of times. Like right now on our website, we've generated over 1 million leads. We've gotten over 1 million email addresses by promoting and advertising our services. And so we send out thousands and thousands and thousands of emails every single day. But I only needed to write them one time because we have this automation set up. So this is also something that we help teachers do. Another attack strategy is blog and SEO, and this is really both attack and defend. Blog, I think you know what this is, and why is it important? It's important because people search and they could find this useful information. So it's basically the same principle behind the email marketing, and it's the same principle behind good paid ads too, and good guest posts, that we're giving people value and we're answering their questions. So a good blog should be doing that. SEO is search engine optimization. And this is another kind of science on its own. And this will affect our blog and how easy it is for people to find what we write there, and how easy it is for people to find things on our website in general. So learning the basics of SEO so that you can optimize how you use keywords on your website and what you write about and what you talk about, it's really important, because you can get a lot of free organic traffic coming to your website or coming to your landing page, or maybe you're not using a website. Some of the teachers who have joined my program, they come to me without a website, without any tech background, and I show them how they can sell their teaching services without having any website at all. In fact, Andrew Smith, one of the guys in our program, he recently started selling just by using a Google Doc. And he already has over $1,000 or $2,000 of income from that, and he did it basically in a week or so. So it was great to see him set that up, even without a website. And there's a lot of other examples of people who have been able to do that too. So there's a lot of free ways that we can set up something and start selling something, and we don't necessarily have to have a website. However, having a website definitely is more professional. I think you'll agree with me. And most of these strategies are going to work well in tandem with a website. So the last one that we're going to talk about in this general part of this video, under the attack section, is direct outreach. And direct outreach basically means that we send a message to people directly. We just go to a platform, we find people who look like they might be in our target audience, and we send them a message. Now, this is really hard, really strenuous work, and it's kind of annoying because it's repetitive, and most people don't answer you. So it's really where we start out, but we want to get out of that style pretty quickly. I mean, we never get completely out of it. We always want to be on the lookout for people who seem like they might be in our target audience, and we want to keep messaging those people and giving them these opportunities to find out about us and what we do. But it definitely doesn't work as well as paid ads, for example. Paid ads, we see that we have lots of data, so we can see that it's standardized. We can see that it's reliable. We can see that when we spend X amount of dollars, we get back Y amount of dollars. With direct outreach, it's about how many messages you send out and how many people you contact and how solid those contacts are. And so one week you might have lots of responses and the next you might not. So it tends to be less reliable. Plus, you have limited time. With paid ads, you pay more, you reach more people. With direct outreach, you have to spend more time to reach more people. So it's a huge negative, but it's definitely one part of our attack strategy. So now let's look at the general aspects of defense, and when we're defending our product and defending our work. We've already invested a lot of time and energy and money into this, And we want to make sure that we get the most out of it and that other people don't just take what we've created. And so a lot of people only think about attack. It's really important to think about defense too. First of all, we have SMM, social media marketing. And this is a really important defense tactic because if you pay for ads, if you reach out to people, then they're going to want to find you. And they are going to look for you on the typical social media platforms and typical websites. So if they look for you on Facebook and they find you and you have a group that only has 2 members, well, it's going to be discouraging. They're going to say, this person isn't established. This person isn't an expert. People don't know about this person. So it's something new and it's risky. So what we want to do is we want to have some kind of social media presence, but this is not the most profitable thing for us to spend our time on. That's where a lot of people make a mistake. They think that they need to do this from the very beginning. That from the very beginning, social media needs to be really, really on point, really good, and they spend tons of time developing social followings when instead they should be developing followings of paying customers. And so this is a defense strategy that we should have set up because when we run paid ads from those platforms, people are going to come back and they're going to look at our platform and they're going to make some kind of judgment about us. So it's something that we need to put in place, and it really can be used together with our SEO and our blog. But it's not the top priority, definitely not the top priority. The next is brand search. Now, brand search is a type of paid ad, and we're going to talk about it later in this video more in depth. If you haven't noticed all the things that are underlined in blue, we're going to talk about in depth later. But brand search basically means that we are making sure that when people search on Google or other places, that our name comes up. So when they type in our website name or our brand name or our product name, when they search for that, we want our name to pop up at the top of the list so that they can easily find us. And this is really an important defense strategy because other companies could pay to put their name at the top of the list when people search for our name. And this is really a dangerous position to be in because you don't want people to go Google you and then find your competitor. So you want to make sure that you're right there and they can find you, and we call this brand search. The next defense strategy is a newsletter. And a newsletter is really a piece of email marketing. It's something that we might write every now and then just to keep people informed about what we're doing. And I think that this is a defense strategy because we have an email marketing list. Like I told you, I've developed a list of over 1 million emails. But what happens is over time, some of those emails become irrelevant, right? Some of those people aren't interested anymore. Some of those people unsubscribe, and some of those people just don't want to hear from you. So you need to keep the list warm. And that's what you do by sending them these regular messages, regular newsletters, and letting them know what you're up to and dropping little pieces of value in. So this is a way to make sure that the list that you've developed stays warm, stays active, and stays useful. Next is copyright and trademark protection. So let's say that you have a brand name. For example, my brand name is 𝗙𝗵𝗹𝗲𝗲, and I have gone to the US Patent Office and I've submitted this paperwork and I've gotten back the response, and I have an official trademark using these words. Now, this is not a symbol trademark, it's a word trademark. And this means that when people use the words 𝗙𝗵𝗹𝗲𝗲, if anybody ever tried to use that, then I could take action and I could protect this. I could stop them from misrepresenting my brand or from making people think that my brand is associated with something that it's not. And that's really important when you get to a higher level. So as you start bringing in more money and as you have an established brand and product, then you'll want to do that. You'll want to invest in having a trademark, or maybe, depending on what kind of product you have, maybe a copyright. And this way you have some legal protection in case someone would try to market themselves or use their product to say that it's like yours, or to take your name, for example. Okay, the last general idea that we're going to look at is updates. So I get this question all the time, especially from people who have joined my coaching program, Teaching Business Catalyst, because I'm helping them set up their own teaching business. And they ask me, well, Chris, what's preventing people from just copying everything that I do or everything that I have in my program for them? What's preventing people from just copying it and selling it on their own? And that's a really good question, because lots of technical people will tell you, oh, well, you need this kind of payment wall. You need this kind of membership website. And yes, there are really good membership websites out there that will let you do this, and you don't have to worry about any of the technical stuff. You can just make sure that you have an offer for them, they can pay, and then boom, they're not gonna copy things or download things if you don't want them to. However, there's always a way around that. And that's what you need to understand, is that if somebody really wants to find a way to steal it from you, then they will. If they really want to steal it, they will. And the best protection against someone stealing what you have is by making the thing that they steal obsolete, by making it old news. And that way, even if they've stolen it, even if they try to use it, you have updates, you have new things, new material that you're giving to people who pay for your services. And if you're constantly updating or you're regularly releasing new pieces of value to the people who are with you, then it doesn't make sense for someone to copy it, because they're never going to have the full product, right? So we can actually build updates into our product. Now, some of you are saying, oh, Chris, it sounds like it's going to take a lot of time. Yes, this does require more time. So if we're just trying to find the best product to sell to reduce the amount of time that we have to spend and increase how much we earn from it, then the updates could be spaced out, right? They don't have to be every day. They don't have to be every week. They don't even have to be every month. Some expensive programs only update once a year. So, updates are just something that you want to consider in your defense arsenal. But now I've gone through the basics in a general way and given you enough information about that. So now I want to dive in to some of the specifics. So when we talk about paid ads and guest posts and brand search, there's a lot of different ways that we could, or someone else could, put the name of what we are trying to sell in front of things that other people are trying to sell. We can use what other people have built towards our advantage. And this is where it becomes questionable sometimes, but it's also a really important strategy to know about, whether you're defending against it or whether you're using it for your own benefit. So we started talking about brand search. And basically what we can do is we can buy the keywords of other people. We can buy keywords. What that means is that when we're doing our paid ads, we can search for somebody else's brand. So for example, I'm going to say their brand. And then I'm going to buy theirbrand.com. And then I'm going to buy their brand login. And maybe if they have a product, I'm going to write their brand in the name of the product. And in Google or whichever search engine we're going to be running these ads on, we're going to use search ads, and we're going to include these as the keywords that we want to pay for. Now, what this is going to do is, if our bid for these keywords is higher than their brand's bid for these keywords, our ad will show up above theirs. Our ad will show up when someone types in their name. Now, don't you think that that's pretty useful? Especially if you know that it's specifically targeting them and you can compare what you have to theirs. So if I'm going to target this, I could say 𝗙𝗵𝗹𝗲𝗲 versus their brand, right? That could be my ad. And then it could say like, spend 50% less or spend 100% less when you go with 𝗙𝗵𝗹𝗲𝗲 instead of their brand. Now, if you're searching for their brand and then you see this ad, like, oh wow, it's going to be cheaper if I go to 𝗙𝗵𝗹𝗲𝗲, well, wouldn't you click there at least and go read more about it? Probably. Another one is that we don't have to only compete with them on price. This is just one example. But the main point is that whenever someone Googled their brand name, they found you. And that's what your competitors don't want to happen, but that's what you do want to happen. So the brand search concept can actually be used in this way to attack and to put yourself in front of other people. Now, another way that we can put ourselves in front of our competitors' traffic is on YouTube. On YouTube, we can choose placements for our paid ads. And let me just go ahead and make a arrow over here. That's a terrible arrow. There we go. So we're talking about paid ads right now. We can actually place our YouTube ads in front of other YouTube channels. Right now, I have ads running in front of, I think, 455 different YouTube channels that are related to things that I sell. And what happens is somebody goes to watch their YouTube video, and because most people on YouTube are only monetizing YouTube, they don't have a product that they're selling. Some of them do. But even the ones who do have a product that they're selling, they're trying to monetize YouTube, which means they're running ads on their YouTube channel. And that means that somebody else can come along and put their ad right in front of it. And isn't that amazing? Because wouldn't you love to put your ad right in front of somebody else's video? Your potential clients go to watch your competitor's video, they click, and at the beginning, before they even watch the competitor's video, your ad pops up. And you say, hey, if you really want to learn about this, come over here. And that's really, really a valuable thing that we can do with YouTube ads. Now, I don't want to make this video too long or else I would dive into all the details, but in our Teaching Business Catalyst program, we regularly go through this, how to put our ads in front of YouTube videos, how to put our ads in front of Facebook videos, how to put our ads in front of our competitors' traffic so that we can siphon it off and bring it over to our website. But here's one of the things that I think that you'll find really, really interesting, and I'm going to go into some detail about this right now, okay? So this is an attack strategy, and we can use this on Facebook. On Facebook, we have the ability to target people who have watched a certain percentage of a video. So let's go ahead and say that I have this Facebook video, and this video that I'm going to make is only going to be a picture. I'm going to make a picture that's a video. In my video editor, I can just add in an image, and the image is going to be something positive. It's going to be like, I love you, or today's the best day in the world, or something super positive that is just trying to get people to watch it and maybe to click. And what's going to happen is anybody who watches this for at least 5% of the video, 5% or maybe 25%, it doesn't matter, because I'm only going to make this video 3 seconds long. So for someone to watch 25% of it, let's say 25%. So for someone to watch 25% of it, they only need to watch basically 1 second, right? So if they watch 1 second of this video, then I can use them in a targeted audience. So 25% of this video, I'm going to make that my targeted audience. I'm going to say that this is, the 25% audience. There you go, if I can spell. Great, 25% audience. And so what happens next is I can show this audience any kind of ads that I want. Now I have a special audience on my Facebook ads account of all of these people. Now you might be saying, okay, great, but how are you going to get that into somebody else's group? Well, you make this image, which is a video, which is only 3 seconds long, you make it relative to that group and positive. And you make it so that it doesn't say anything, it doesn't have any ads, it doesn't say anything about your product or your brand. So what you might do is you might go to your Facebook group, you post this image that is a video, 3 second video image basically, and then you share it. You share it into your competitor's group. And when people in the competitor's group are scrolling, how many of them are going to stop and see this for 1 second, right? A lot of people are going to do that. And so now anybody who has been active in your competitor's group recently will be put into your 25% audience, and now you can go ahead and show this to whoever, show them whatever you want, right? You can show this audience all of your ads. So they'll log on to Facebook the next day and they'll start to see you all over the place. Because what we haven't spoken about really is the different types of paid advertising that we need to be using. So we usually start off with cold ads. And cold ads are the ones where we don't know the people, they've never seen us before. It's the first touch, the first contact with these leads. And so a cold paid ad is meant to just get engagement. It always surprises me when people write negative comments under these ads because they've basically engaged with the ad and now they will be targeted again with more ads. You see, the best thing you can do if you don't like an ad or you don't want to see it anymore is either ignore it or click on the three dots on Facebook or on YouTube or wherever you see the ad, click to report the ad and say that you don't want to see that ad anymore because the platforms have this function. So that's how you fight against ads that you don't like. If you comment on them or if you press like or you share them or you write something terrible about the person running the ad, that just means you're going to see more ads from them because it's all based on engagement. So we go from cold ads, and then people who engage with cold ads, they start to see our warm ads. Warm ads are the ads that we have that are made that we show back to the people who have engaged or people who have visited our website. And then we might also have hot ads. We might have hot ads. And these hot ads are people who have visited the page where they needed to make the purchasing decision. Like you have a page on your website where it tells them all the information about your paid product, and people go there, but then they don't buy sometimes. So all of those people who visited that page but didn't buy, we can show them special ads, different ads, and let them know that it's important for them to buy now, or maybe there's a special discount that they can take advantage of, or something like that, right? Now, you might be thinking, well, Chris, how do I set up all of this stuff, right? How do I know who visited that page and didn't buy? How do I know people who visited my website but not that page? How do I know people who engaged with my ads? How do I know all of this stuff? That's because we need to set up a tracking system. We have tracking systems set up for Facebook, Google ads. I mean, Facebook includes Instagram, WhatsApp, Google including YouTube and Gmail. Pinterest, we have Twitter ads, we have LinkedIn ads, I even have VK and Yandex ads. I have this set up on all kinds of different platforms so that people, when they move to other platforms and they go to other websites, they'll keep seeing us. They'll keep seeing our brand, they'll keep seeing our name, and they're more likely to buy because they're more familiar with us. And that's the ultimate goal of paid ads. We call it omnipresence. And when we achieve that, then we've really established ourselves because people will start talking about our brand without us having to pay for it. And that's where we're trying to go, right? So of course, when we don't have a teaching business, all of this stuff sounds really cool and it sounds really easy. When we start implementing it, there's lots of small steps along the way that need to be finessed, that need to be implemented, and then you need to tweak them a little bit and you need to make them a little better along the way. And this can be really hard, it can be really difficult. So that's why I've put together the coaching programs that I've told you about that are on our website, teachingrevolution.com, teaching-revolution.com. And we actually have a free 7-day training that you can start with. And if you like that, then you can consider our paid training because I am a believer that you should get something first before you pay any money. So you can see if it's for you by joining the free 7-day training. And basically, I'm going to go over stuff like this. But in our paid program, we also show you how to set up that tracking system for each of these platforms, how to create a product, and then how to sell a product before you've even created all of it. We tell you lots of the different steps that you need to know along the way so that you can get started and you can grow your business as large as you want, really. The sky is the limit. So far, like I told you, I've been able to scale my business up to over $1 million in this last year. And I see that there's still tons of room for growth. And the people who I work with have been able to lock in thousands of dollars of sales also. So, this is definitely possible, and this is really just a preview of what you can do. So if you want to advertise your teaching services, then follow these steps. This is really a general outline, but then go over, do the free training that I offer. And if that's for you, then we'll jump on a call and maybe we can work together. And I hope that you found this video useful, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care.